Our shared values of and diversity nurture the bond between our peoples. Connecticut is home to a vibrant and growing Indian community. The largest percentage of immigrants in Connecticut are Indian, and we are so proud they have chosen to make Connecticut their home.
I'm really excited and honored to welcome Prime Minister Modi as he prepares to address the United States Congress. India and the United States are the two largest democracies in the world, and there's so much that we can and must do together. This is a critical moment for democracy here in the United States and around the world, and India is a key partner in our effort to strengthen democracy here and around the globe.
As Prime Minister Narendra Modi undertakes a historic first ever state visit to the United States, join me, Zakir Jacob, as I'll be live from both New York and Washington, D.C., detailing the defense deals, the address to the joint session of the U.S. Congress, and of course, the pomp and ceremony of the state banquet. That is all through this week on CNN News 18.
Good evening, hello and welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Anusha Soni. The Gita Press that was selected for the Gandhi Peace Prize for 2021 by a jury headed by none other than Prime Minister Modi. That entire prize and the selection has landed in a controversy. Well, just giving you a brief history, established in Uttar Pradesh, Gorakhpur in 1923, the publishing house Gita Press is valued for printing religious Hindu texts to promote principles of Sanatan Dharma and to make it available at minimal cost. Gita Press has printed crores of copies when it comes to Gita, Ramayana, Upanishads, Veds and Puran. Congress leader Jairam Ramesh termed the decision to confer the Gandhi Peace Prize as a travesty and equated it with awarding the likes of Nathuram Godse. Well, as expected, the BJP has sharply reacted to this statement and termed the Congress party as anti-Hindu. While there is no doubt that Gita Press has done revolutionary work in spreading awareness about Hindu epics and its values, why is the Congress party opposed to this honor? Is this mere politicization of an award, or there are real, substantial or historical reasons for this criticism? We discuss on Brass Tacks tonight.
गीता प्रेस जो आज वटवृक्ष बन गया है और इसकी शाखाएं पूरे विश्व में फैली हुई हैं, इसकी स्थापना भी बड़े रोचक ढंग से हुई है।
गीता प्रेस का इतिहास 29 अप्रैल 1923 से शुरू हुआ है। 10 रुपए के किराए के मकान से ये शुरू हुआ है। गीता प्रेस सम्मान को स्वीकार कर लेगा, लेकिन उसके साथ मिलने वाली 1 करोड़ रुपए की धनराशि को स्वीकार नहीं करेगा।
Gita Press Gorakhpur has been conferred with Gandhi Peace Prize. I repeat, Gandhi Peace Prize. My Prime Minister, who was the chief of the jury, says for social and cultural transformation. What kind of social and cultural transformation?
अफोर्डेबल लिटरेचर का निर्माण करती है, घर घर में वो पहुंची हुई है। और इसके ऊपर आरोप कौन लोग लगा रहे हैं, जो कह रहे हैं कि मुस्लिम लीग सेकुलर। मैं तो समझता हूँ इस प्रकार की बहस में उलझना भी अपनी ऊर्जा को व्यर्थ गवा रहा है।
Well, joining us on the broadcast tonight is a very special guest, Lalmani Tiwari ji, who's the trustee of Gita Press. Sir, बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया, नमस्कार, thank you so much for speaking to us. सबसे पहले शुभकामनाएं आपको, गीता प्रेस ने ये अवार्ड जीता है। मगर कांग्रेस पार्टी के वक्तव्य या बयान को आपने जरूर सुना होगा। उनका कहना है कि गीता प्रेस को ये सम्मान देना मतलब गोडसे को ये सम्मान देना। आपकी पहली प्रतिक्रिया इस पूरे बयान पर कांग्रेस पार्टी की?
रही बात यह कि गीता प्रेस को सम्मान मिला है
जी, गांधी
शांति पुरस्कार, तो ये एक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर का पुरस्कार है। गीता प्रेस उसको स्वीकार कर रहा है और भारत सरकार के संस्कृति मंत्रालय को, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी को और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को धन्यवाद देता है और उनका आभार स्वीकार करता है, आभार प्रदर्शित करता है। रही बात ये कि जो पुरस्कार मिला है इस पर जयराम रमेश जी जो टिप्पणी कर रहे हैं, तो हम लोग कोई राजनीतिक वक्तव्य पर टिप्पणी नहीं करते हैं और इस पर क्यों मिला, कैसे मिला, ये समिति जाने और इस पर जो भी टिप्पणी करनी होगी, जो भी वक्तव्य देना होगा वो समिति देगी। जिस समिति ने हमको पुरस्कृत किया है, हम उनके वक्तव्य पर कोई टिप्पणी नहीं देना चाहते।
सर एक सवाल मैं आपसे और पूछना चाहूंगी कि जब भी धर्म का प्रचार प्रसार किया जाता है, या कुछ लेखक भी हैं जिनको जयराम रमेश ने कोट किया है, मैं किसी का नाम नहीं लूंगी यहाँ पर, लेकिन अक्सर धर्म के प्रचार प्रसार को एक कम्युनल एंगल दिया जाता है। ये बोला जाता है कि ये किया जा रहा है लेकिन ये एक खास मंशा से किया जा रहा है या किसी राजनीतिक प्रोपेगेंडे के तहत किया जा रहा है। क्या इस पूरे कम्युनल एंगल पर आपकी राय, आपकी टिप्पणी, आप कैसे देखते हैं इस पूरे क्रिटिसिज्म को?
पहली बात यह कि अक्षय मुकुल की पुस्तक पर हम कमेंट नहीं करना चाहते और न ही अक्षय मुकुल को मैं कोई अथॉरिटी मानता हूं। दोनों बातें हैं। अगर हम गीता प्रेस किसी के पुस्तक पर कोई कमेंट करता है तो इसका मतलब यह है कि उसका अस्तित्व उसके सामने है। गीता प्रेस अपने आप में एक संस्था है जो किसी भी धर्म का बिना खंडन किए सनातन धर्म का प्रचार और 100 सालों से करता चला रहा है। अब तक गीता प्रेस 93 करोड़ से अधिक पुस्तकें पाठकों को उपलब्ध करा पाया है। और अगर पिछले वर्ष में देखूं, वित्तीय वर्ष 2022 और 2023 में, तो कल्याण की संख्या जोड़ लें तो 2 करोड़ 40 लाख पुस्तकें हमने उपलब्ध कराई है, जिसको मूल्य में देखें तो इतने नियंत्रित मूल्य पर होने के बाद भी पुस्तक हमारी 111 करोड़ से अधिक मूल्य की है। तो पाठकों का इतना बड़ा समर्थन हमारे साथ में है, पाठकों का इतना बड़ा विश्वास हमारे साथ में है, यही हमारा बल है, यही हमारा संबल है। और हम विश्व बंधुत्व के लिए काम करते हैं, मानव मात्र के कल्याण के लिए काम करते हैं और सनातन धर्म के प्रचार प्रसार के लिए काम करते हैं। और सनातन धर्म का उद्देश्य भी विश्व बंधुत्व और मानव मात्र का कल्याण है।
आपने बताया कि सारी पुस्तकें, करोड़ों प्रतियां जो आप अभी तक छाप चुके हैं, लोगों तक पहुंचा चुके हैं, एक बहुत ही कम कीमत पर, कम मूल्य पर ये लोगों को मिल जाती हैं। आपने धनराशि लेने से क्यों मना कर दिया?
देखिए, ऐसा है कि गीता प्रेस अपने स्थापना काल से ही किसी प्रकार का न कोई सम्मान स्वीकार करता था और न ही कोई धनराशि स्वीकार करता है। तो अब परिस्थितियों को देखते हुए अगर भारत सरकार ने ये सम्मान गीता प्रेस को दिया है तो उस सम्मान के सम्मान में हम मान पत्र स्वीकार कर रहे हैं। लेकिन चूंकि गीता प्रेस किसी प्रकार का आर्थिक सहयोग किसी से नहीं लेता है, इसलिए उसके साथ मिलने वाली 1 करोड़ की जो धनराशि है उसको हम लोग विनम्रता के साथ अस्वीकार कर रहे हैं।
जी, लेकिन कुछ आलोचनाएं हैं सर जो पब्लिक डोमेन में इस समय है, और मैं बिना किसी का नाम लिए ये सारी आलोचनाएं आपके सामने रख रही हूं ताकि आप इन पर अपनी राय दे सकें, गीता प्रेस का बयान दे सकें। कहीं ना कहीं ये बोला जाता है कि जब आप एक धार्मिक एंगल से बात करते हैं या किसी धर्म का प्रचार या प्रसार करते हैं तो उसमें कहीं ना कहीं एक रिग्रेसिविज्म होता है, एक पुरानी सोच, एक रूढ़िवादी सोच होती है। जहां तक विमेन राइट्स की बात है, औरतों के बराबरी के अधिकार की बात है, या दलित इंक्लूजन की बात है, गीता प्रेस का जो कास्ट रिजर्वेशन या कास्ट सिस्टम पे पूरा स्टैंड है, क्या आप जिस विचारधारा को फॉलो करते हैं वो प्रोग्रेसिव विचारधारा है?
ऐसा है, जिन लोग ऐसा बात कहते हैं वो गीता प्रेस को सही माने में पढ़े नहीं हैं। हमारी धारणा है यत्र नार्यस्तु पूज्यन्ते रमन्ते तत्र देवता। हमारी धारणा वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की है। हम जो भी ग्रंथ छाप रहे हैं, जो भी पुस्तकें छाप रहे हैं, वो चरित्र निर्माण के लिए छाप रहे हैं। हमारे यहाँ से संत अंक छपा गीता प्रेस के कल्याण के माध्यम से, जिसमें सभी धर्मों के संतों के विषय में विस्तृत वर्णन किया गया है। हमारे यहाँ संत वाणी अंक छपा जिसमें सभी धर्म के संतों की वाणियां छापी गई हैं। तो हम केवल ऐसा नहीं है, हम केवल छाप रहे हैं तो विश्व बंधुत्व की भावना और प्राणियों में सद्भावना के लिए छाप रहे हैं। बाकी हमारा कोई और ऐसा कोई काम और उद्देश्य नहीं है।
मेरा आपसे अंतिम प्रश्न त्रिपाठी जी कि आज के युवा लोगों के लिए, आज की युवा पीढ़ी के लिए गीता प्रेस या आप जिस तरह की पुस्तकें छापते हैं या जिस तरह की धार्मिक पुस्तकों का लोगों में प्रचार करते हैं, कितनी प्रासंगिक हैं, कितनी कॉन्टेक्चुअल है, कितनी इंपॉर्टेंट है मॉडर्न जनरेशन के लिए?
देखिए, ऐसा है कि हमने 100 से अधिक पुस्तकें बाल साहित्य के लिए छापा है। बच्चों के लिए 100 से अधिक पुस्तकें छापा है, जिसमें क ख ग घ और ABCD से लेकर के इंटर और BA तक के विद्यार्थियों के लिए है। हमने पढ़ो समझो और करो छापा है, जो बड़ी प्रेरणादायक कहानियां हैं, कहानियों की पुस्तकें हमने छापा है। तो बहुत सारे साहित्य हमने छापा है, जिससे हमारे बच्चे, हमारे युवा सब हमसे जुड़े हुए हैं इस समय। हमारी पुस्तकें 200 से अधिक ऑनलाइन फ्री डाउनलोड करने के लिए उपलब्ध हैं, फ्री पढ़ने के लिए उपलब्ध हैं, और उसमें भी हम 500 पुस्तकें भी इसी साल करने जा रहे हैं। तो हम युवा वर्ग के लिए या हर पीढ़ी के लिए हम पुस्तकें उपलब्ध कराए हैं, और हमारा साहित्य आगे भी इसी तरह से उपलब्ध कराते रहेंगे।
लालमणि त्रिपाठी जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए, अपने समय देने के लिए, और मेरी शुभकामनाएं आपको on winning this award. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Well, here's another special guest joining us on the broadcast today live. We have Mr. Tushar Gandhi, who's the great-grandson of Mahatma Gandhi. He's with us on the show today. Mr. Gandhi, thank you so much for speaking with us. Good to have you on the show today. The statement of Jairam Ramesh, I'm sure you must have gone through the statement, which is in public domain. And he equates the award that has been given to Gita Press as, you know, giving an award to Nathuram Godse. How do you see that statement? Your first thoughts on it?
Well, it's not very off the target or the bullseye, because the founders and people of the Gita Press were accused in the Gandhi murder case. And so it's not really too far-fetched criticism. I will not go into the merits of Gita Press or the demerits of Gita Press. My only, the announcement amused me, because the Gandhi Peace Award was constituted with two objectives. One is that people who have worked to promote Gandhian ideals and values and things, and it was supposed to be given to them in recognition of their work in promoting those ideals. Gita Press throughout has always opposed many of Bapu's ideals and the objectives of his life. And so I don't know what justification the selection committee had to select them. The other reasoning could be to enthuse them to follow the Gandhian path. It doesn't seem as if they are at all interested in that ideology, because the Sanatan Dharma that Gita Press talks about is more of the Sanatan Dharma that Nathuram Godse claimed to be a protector of. The Sanatan Dharma that Bapu professed and called himself a Sanatani was very different from both. And so on those guidelines also, it is very astonishing that the Prime Minister and his selection committee felt that Gita Press deserved that prize. So it would be nice if they could come out and give the justification of their selection. To me, it seems as if they are just displaying their sense of humor in giving Gita Press the Gandhi Peace Award. They could have given them many other awards that the government generally hands out, particularly giving them Gandhi Peace Award. The only justification I feel is that the Prime Minister wants to tell the world that he has a very warped sense of humor.
Mr. Gandhi, while I take your views and the place where they're coming from, and I'm sure you know this, that Hanuman Prasad Poddar and various other leaders at that time before the independence, who were instrumental in starting the Gita Press back in the 1920s before independence, had deep engagement with Mahatma Gandhi. You are absolutely right that there were huge differences of opinions when it comes to the status of Dalits or the rights of women, the temple entry and various other issues. But there was a deep sense of engagement despite ideological differences between the two sides.
Yes, there was an engagement also, the very hardline Hindutva people. That doesn't make them qualified to receive a prize that commemorates the ideology. You can, I have absolutely no issues with the Prime Minister and the selection committee respecting Gita Press. They have the right to do that, and Gita Press has, in a way, justified that. The Gandhi Peace Prize was constituted with a certain objective, and it was given to people who fell into a certain definition that was also decided for qualification for that prize. And I don't think Gita Press in that aspect qualifies for it. So it would be best if you were to ask the Prime Minister for a justification for the prize, because I am not associated with the selection committee, neither am I associated with the prize, so I'm not qualified to talk about it. But as a person who is concerned about the Gandhi legacy, it feels to me that it is a travesty.
All right, I've taken those points. Thank you, Mr. Tushar Gandhi, for joining us on the broadcast and sharing your views and perspective on this award that has been conferred. Let's take this question to our panelists as well. We have Mr. Ajay Alok, who's a spokesperson of the BJP, Tehseen Poonawala, who's a political analyst, Mr. Shiv Khera, who's an author, writer and a well-known academician, is also joining us on the broadcast. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Ajay, coming to you first, taking in a view from you. You just heard Tushar Gandhi and he says, if you had to honor Gita Press, there were a lot of honors that you could have given them. Why the Gandhi Peace Prize?
I don't agree to what Tushar Gandhi has said.
Yeah.
It has been decided by the committee who was looking into it that the Gita Press qualifies for this award, and that's why this award has been conferred on them. Now, what is the problem? And where is the problem? Try and get into the roots of the problem. If any organization who is propagating Sanatan Dharma through its publications for the last 100 years, and where there is no documentary evidence that it has promoted communal values or done anything like that, what's the problem in awarding that award? You have basically problem that with yourself, Congress party. I know this will create some rough feathers, but just imagine when after imposing emergency, Indira Gandhi can get Bharat Ratna. After 1984 Sikh riots, for which everybody holds Rajiv Gandhi responsible, he can get Bharat Ratna. But Gita Press cannot get Gandhi Peace Foundation Prize. What is the logic? And what terms they have said? That it's like awarding Nathuram Godse and Savarkar. Savarkar is same as Nathuram Godse. What is the choice of thinking? Is basically their narrative of being anti-Hindu, just to demean Hinduism. Anybody who promotes Hinduism, anybody who talks about Sanatan Dharma, Congress becomes allergic to that. That's because for the last 25 years since the Congress reign came into the hands of Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, the whole character of Congress party, it took a tectonic shift towards minoritism, appeasement, and gradually largely becoming anti-Hindu. Look at the speeches they will give.
Yeah,
they compare Hindu Dharma to Boko Dharam and ISIS. They call Hindu as
Mr. Ajay Alok, I take your criticism to the Congress statements and the way they've been put out in the public domain. But the point that Tushar Gandhi was also making, and I want to bring in that point, that Mahatma Gandhi had a lot of ideological differences with the founders of the Gita Press and their own version of what Sanatan Dharma was all about. And those differences were too stark to be ignored. They could have been given some prize, but not the prize which is named after Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Tushar Gandhi, then he should have gone and read the scripts. That there are innumerable scripts written by Mahatma Gandhi himself for Gita Press in their magazine. Mr. Jamnalal Bajaj and Mr. Poddar, they were very much friendly to Mahatma Gandhi. When Mahatma Gandhi was ill in the jail, when he came out, he stayed in Mr. Poddar's house. In spite of the differences, in spite of the ideological differences, they were very friendly. There is evidence about that. And this Congress government only, in 1992, under Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, they released a stamp on Mr. Poddar. Even he was recommended for Bharat Ratna by the UP government to the government of India. All these done by the Congress government itself. Why today they have a problem? That's what I'm telling you. Because the last 25 years, Congress has taken a tectonic shift towards being anti-Hindu. So anybody who's doing a work for Sanatan Dharma, Hinduism, Congress is allergic to that firm. That is the only reason. Otherwise, this useless criticism was not at all required. They should apologize.
All right, they should apologize. That's the word coming in. Tehseen, a quick word from you, then I want to bring in Mr. Shiv Khera as well into the discussion.
Good evening, Anisha. Thank you so much for having me on the show. There are 3 or 4 points that I would like to bring to your viewers via you. Number 1, congratulations to the Gita Press on this award. Do I tend to agree with what my friend Tushar Gandhi said? It's something I've been articulating since evening. Nobody is opposed to the Gita Press getting any award. In fact, it was the Congress government that honored them, A, by recommending them for the Bharat Ratna, for Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru ji was Prime Minister of the Congress government, and by removing a stamp in their honor. So Gita Press is an yeoman service for India and Hinduism. This isn't about India and Hinduism. What this is about, and if I may be allowed to articulate this, any award could have been given, but when you have people who were accused of the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, of course later they were exonerated, and then you award them with a Gandhi Award. It is, for example, and I never like to be personal, me accusing your channel of being biased and then coming on your channel and then, or the promoters of your channel and coming on your channel and backing eloquence or taking an award. So I think there is a double speak. Nobody's against Hinduism. The Congress is the only Hindu nationalist party in this country. That's point number one. Point number two, Anusha, I would like to ask you a personal question, and that's where I'd like to end it. Women must be under the care of their fathers. They cannot be left independent. Later on, they must be under the protection of their husband. And if their husbands die, they must be under the protection of a male relative or their son. There's the founder of the Gita Press. These are their views on women empowerment, and I'm not against that. That could be his personal views. However, this is against what Gandhi stood for, because my Mahatma, my Bapu, who, by the way, my grandfather served Gandhi in jail, was for women empowerment. And therefore, the only question is the Gandhi Award. Congratulations to Gita Press on an award, but they could have been given any award. It is actually Congress that gave him award. The BJP has done nothing for the Gita Press.
All right, point taken. I want to cut across to Mr. Shiv Khera, who's with us on the broadcast. Sir, it's always a pleasure to have you. But when we talk about the work that has been done by Gita Press and the award that they've got, it is somewhere lost in the sharp political voices that we are hearing from the Congress party and the response coming in from the BJP. What's your candid opinion, sir? Did they deserve to get this prize?
All I can say is Gita Press has served the country about 100 years now. And the amount of work that they have done towards promoting peace, probably that is the reason why they got the Peace Prize. The name Gandhi is attached to them, to the prize. Now, they got granted, they might have had differences, but differences are healthy. Who says that differences are wrong? And besides, if there are differences, does that make Gita Press promoters wrong? And does it make Gandhi right? I mean, who says that Gandhi was always right? So, I mean, if they had differences, what...
Mr. Shiv Khera, I think we seem to have lost that connection with you. We'll just fix that. And get back to you on that. Tehseen, coming back to you. Gita Press, as you rightly said, has done a commendable job, and Mr. Shiv Khera was also pointing out that the publication has been very instrumental in ensuring that at each and every home across the country, and people across faith in India want to read Bhagavad Gita or various other texts which are the historical heritage of this country, and they did it at a very minimal cost. There might have been ideological differences that existed between the two sides, but that being said, or the fact that there were certain differences with Mahatma Gandhi, does it make them untouchable of sorts? Because the Congress party is directly comparing Gita Press to Nathuram Godse.
No, it doesn't make them untouchable. It shouldn't. And to that extent, I agree with my friend Ajay Alokji. You have, apart from everything else, you have elections in 3 Hindi heartland states. And yesterday, the entire media and social media was focused on Manipur. So why go ahead and score these silly self-goals and make this the polarizing issue when you have massive issues to put the government down? So to that extent, I think the BJP is a failed government and the Congress has scored a self-goal. But let me make a larger question, answer a larger question, point to what you say. If it was only a question of ideological differences, I would have understood that, perhaps even celebrated that. I'm one for diversity. And that's where I respect Shiv Khera ji, a very eminent author. What my limited point is, they were accused of murder. Yes, that they were later exonerated. When you're accused of murder and then exonerated, to that point, not the Gandhi Award, any other award. Therefore, I say Gita Press is a yeoman service for our country. And I respect that. It is only
but Tehseen, this is also the same political party.
Arusha, just one line.
Just one interjection, Tehseen. You can respond to that as well before I go back to Mr. Shiv Khera and Mr. Ajay Alok. That this is the same Congress party whose leader termed the Indian Union Muslim League as a secular party. And we know the kind of orthodox conservative position and stand that this particular political party has, but they are secular.
That's a fantastic question. Thank you for putting it across so brilliantly, because the Congress is the only party in this country. My Mahatma's party is the only party in this country that can bring extremists like the Shiv Sena and the Indian Muslim Union League into the center and within our constitution. It's a great tent that brings extremists into the center. And therefore, the Congress is the soul of India. Thank you for putting that so beautifully. But let me again reiterate. I have nothing against the Gita Press except for respect. It's only in that limited context. But I completely given to the BJP spokesperson and my friend Ajay Alok ji that this is a self-goal. It was not needed, particularly in case of Manipur, where the government has failed this country. You should have focused on Manipur. I completely given to that.
All right, Mr. Ajay Alok, a lot of criticism was made of Gita Press by certain people who have written few accounts, few books. There's one book which was quoted by Mr. Jairam Ramesh as well, and the author in his interview cites how the organization or the particular publication in the past in history has had very regressive views when it comes to women, when it comes to the entry of Dalits in the temples, or their position when the Hindu Code Bill was introduced in the country. Then how can this particular organization or publication deserve such honor? That's what the critics say, sir. I want your response on that. Mr. Ajay Alok.
Yeah, recently, the Congress is also mentioning a book called Gorakhpur in 1946, where they say that the seeds of Dadri were sown in that book. Now, when I went through that book, I found that that book was written by none other than Rajendra Prasad ji, none other than Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi ji, Madan Mohan Malviya ji, or everybody had a column in that book. Now, Congress means to say that Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, my Mahatma, as what Tehseen is saying, Congress believes that they had sown the seed of Dadri. All these kind of useless allegations just to defame an organization who is working for the last 100 years for Sanatan Dharma. A very common question for your viewers. Who will hate an organization who publishes 12 crores Ramcharitmanas? Who will hate an organization who publishes and distributes 16 crores Gita?
Okay.
Who will hate?
Mr.
Simple question.
Mr. Shivkhera, I'm coming back to you. There are few things which are always mentioned for Gita Press, and especially the case pertaining to assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, and the fact that some members of the organization or publication were rounded up and later they were let off without any conviction is often raised as a criticism of that particular publication. I also mentioned about certain social views that the organization had in the past. These were views that were expressed before we got independence, but even today they are held as some kind of a hallmark, some kind of a proof, as if the organization doesn't deserve any kind of mainstream respect. Your thoughts on that, Mr. Khera?
First of all, I don't know where I got cut off, but Gita Press has been in India for the past more than 100 years, and they have been serving the Indian society to the best of their ability and spreading out a message of peace, happiness, and harmony all over the country. If you look at all their messages that are going all over the country, whether Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, all these things that are going, this is all a message of peace. And granted, pre-independence, they might have had differences between them and Mahatma Gandhi, but then the question is, this disagreement is it always bad? Well, then isn't this part of democracy? And number two, if they have these differences, tell me, what says that the Gita Press promoters were wrong? And what says that Gandhi was right always? He was not always right. And in fact, I have read some of the quotes by Mahatma Gandhi saying that if the Muslims kill the Hindus, it's okay. They should not even retaliate. They should be happy about it. Well, how many people would agree with that? This is like Manmohan Singh saying that the Indian Muslims have the first right on all India's resources. I mean, does that make all Indian Hindus second-class citizens? Is that the right thing? So they are secular. Tell me, if with those kind of statements, are they secular? If anybody calls them secular, I don't understand what they really mean by it. And just look at it, 1995, the Waqf Board Act was passed by the Congress, which says any property they want to take, they can take. Is that what secularism all about?
All right.
I think BJP ought to repeal these acts. And really, if you look at it, the Peace Prize that has gone to Gita Press, in my opinion, has been gone for peace, yes, The word Gandhi has been attached to it, no doubt about it. And disagreement is not always wrong. I just want to please give me one more point here.
Sure.
I'd like to make
Sure.
a point. And Gandhi ji was a big proponent of Bhagwan Ram, the Ramcharitramanas. Now, my question is, was Ram a Gandhian? In fact, somebody said, who's a Gandhian? Anybody who can win everybody with love is a Gandhian.
Right.
2, tolerance is Gandhi's trait. And 3rd is non-violence.
Okay.
Let me ask you, was Ram able to win with love everybody? Answer is no. Did he say, I'm very tolerant to kidnap Sita, I get a second Sita? He said, I don't tolerate kidnappers. And 3, you talk of non-violence.
I think to your points, Mr. Khera, there's a quick rebuttal that Tehseen has. Tehseen, please go ahead.
And he killed Ram on the other side, so he was not a Gandhian either. So my point is that disagreement is not always wrong. Even some of the greatest people, well, certainly Gandhi does not have the status of Ram. Ram is way, way up. So obviously he did not follow that system.
All right, Tehseen, please go ahead, make your point.
Of course, Gandhi, my Mahatma is not equivalent to Ram. Ram was a god, my Mahatma was a human being who celebrated differences. But his differences that were celebrated, I don't know how differences can be celebrated when you say women cannot be left alone. My Gandhi was a champion of women's rights. I don't know how differences can be celebrated when you oppose the 1949 Hindu Code Bill reforms that not only empowered women but empowered our ST citizens. I'm a great fan of authors and I love reading books. But I'm not a fan of WhatsApp. Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, the greatest Prime Minister after Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, never said the first right of reprisals are for Muslims. He said are for minorities, which include ST and linguistic minorities as well. Therefore, I say there's a context to everything which we must come in. So let me end this with one last thing. I again say the Gita Press has done yeoman service. Of course, there have been differences. All that we are talking about is somebody accused in the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi.
But they were accused, Tehseen. At the end of the day, they were accused. I mean, we ought to respect the process of law. The fact that they were accused, the fact that they were accused and they were let off without any conviction, that the charge did not stick on them. I believe about 20,000 people were rounded off when Mahatma Gandhi was unfortunately assassinated in this country. Rounded off, not accused. You're right. Yes. But they were let off.
Accused.
Yes,
of course they were. And therefore, I'm just saying that they were exonerated and that's fine. But that's the only sticking point. This has nothing to do with Hinduism, because Hinduism is a great way of life in our country, which the Congress has propagated. Who gave the name for Bharat?
Well, it's only strange, Tehseen, that a very conservative ideology within a particular community can be called secular. But honoring Gita Press in this country, which has only done a philanthropic job, raises political questions and eyebrows. But that's the brand of politics that we are witnessing in this country. Tehseen Poonawala, Mr. Shiv Khera and Mr. Ajay Alok, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the broadcast. That's all the time that we have today. Moving on to another big story of the day, or another big controversy. The entire row over the Prabhas starrer movie Adipurush, that continues to escalate. There are Hindu groups who are up in arms, calling the movie an insult to their faith. From protests on the street, Hindu groups have also stormed theatres and disrupted screenings of the controversial movie. They are upset over the dialogues, the language in the film and the depiction of the revered characters, calling them this entire representation as crass and offensive. The opposition has accused the BJP of hurting the Hindu sentiments by allowing such release, citing how the movie thanks multiple BJP chief ministers for supporting it. Now, Team Adipurush has said it will amend the dialogues to protect Hindu sentiments. However, the film score...
उनके हिसाब से ही डेवलप की गई है ना चीजें.
Thank you, Mr. Larry, for joining us on the broadcast. Well, the jury is out and perhaps the verdict of the people is that you can take cinematic liberties, but you can't crush the soul of a story of an epic like Ramayana, which is about the soul of this country. Well, with that, it's a quick wrap on Brass Tacks tonight. Thank you so much for watching.
उन्होंने फिल्म रिलीज होने से एक दिन पहले ही ये कहा था कि यदि इस फिल्म का जो डायलॉग है जिसमें ये कहा गया है कि किसी भी भारत की बेटी के साथ इस तरह का व्यवहार न करे, इस तरह का एक डायलॉग है उसमें, इनका कहना है कि सीता जो जानकी का रोल है वो जानकी सीता माता को दिखाया गया है और उनका जन्म जनकपुर में हुआ था, वो जनकपुर की थी और जनकपुर नेपाल का हिस्सा है, इसलिए उसको भारत की बेटी कैसे कहा गया है। तो इस वजह से यहाँ पे विरोध हो रहा है। हालांकि फिल्म में जो वो डायलॉग है वो किसी और कंटेक्स्ट में कहा गया है, इस तरह की कोई आपत्तिजनक बात नहीं, और सीता को खास टारगेट करके भी नहीं कहा गया है, लेकिन यहाँ पे एक अलग तरह का ही राष्ट्रवाद चलता है, भारत विरोधी राष्ट्रवाद जो है नेपाल में चलता है। तो इस वजह से फिल्म सेंसर बोर्ड जो नेपाल का है उसने वो भारत शब्द को म्यूट करके यहाँ दिखाने के लिए परमिशन दे दिया था।
The row over the Prabhas star film Adipurush continues to escalate after the film's dialogue writer Manoj Muntashir said that the dialogues will be revised. Now, the other faction of the Shiv Sena's MP Priyanka Chaturvedi has demanded that the BJP CMs who blessed the film should apologize to the nation. Remember, the movie thanks several BJP chief ministers for blessing the movie. And meanwhile, Hindu organizations have created a ruckus at the Capital Mall at Nalasopara in Maharashtra over the film. Hindu groups raised slogans inside of the cinema hall, as a result of which the show had to be cancelled midway. Apart from India, Adipurush is also drawing criticism in Nepal's Kathmandu, where the city's mayor has raised questions over the depiction of Sita and announced an all-out ban on the release of Hindi films in the city. And it's not just Kathmandu, but Pokhara has also banned all Indian films.
अगर आपको लगा कि मनोज मुंतशिर की लेखनी से निकले ये संवाद आपके राम के चरित्र को और आपकी मां सीता के सतीत्व को सही तरीके से प्रतिपादित कर रहे हैं, सही तरीके से प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, तो पहले तो इतने के लिए मेरी प्रशंसा होनी चाहिए कि मैंने बहुत अच्छा किया। फिर जहां आपको ये लगता है कि नहीं भाई, बजरंगबली के 5 संवादों पे पूरी कहानी है, 4-4,500 लाइनें, मैंने गिनी तो नहीं है पर लगभग इतनी लाइनों के संवाद पिक्चर में है, उसमें से अगर 5 पे एतराज़ है आपको, तो ये 5 का एतराज़ मैं शिरोधार्य करता हूँ। मैं इतने अहंकार में नहीं हूँ, मैं ब्रह्मा नहीं हूँ कि मैंने कलम उठाई, लेखनी से जो लिख दिया वही विधि हो गई। अरे बिल्कुल नहीं, 5 डायलॉग पे आपत्ति है, मैं 5 बदल रहा हूँ 100%। ये नहीं कि आधा अधूरा। मैं अपने संवादों के पक्ष में अनगिनत तर्क दे सकता हूँ, लेकिन मेरे तर्क देने से आपकी पीड़ा कम नहीं होगी। अगर आपको कुछ दुखा है, अगर आप आहत हुए हैं, आपका आहत होना मेरे लिए बड़ी बात है।
अब ये तो पहली बात तो ये है कि जो सेंसर बोर्ड उसे देखना चाहिए था कि इस प्रकार से जो हमारे महापुरुष हैं, जो हमारे आराध्य हैं, उसके मुख से इस प्रकार के शब्दों का बुलवाना कोई उचित बात है? ऐसे लोगों के खिलाफ तो कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए।
इस पर टिप्पणी में पढ़ना नहीं चाहता था, क्योंकि इस तरह की फिल्मों के बारे में मेरा स्पष्ट मत है कि ये फिल्में एजेंडा के तहत बनाई जाती है। अब अगर उसमें आपने जिन ईश्वर के प्रति लोगों की आस्था, एक बड़े वर्ग की, उनकी जुबान आपने टपोरियों वाली जुबान कर दी, ये तो किसी के, मतलब मैं समझता हूं कि किसी के जहन में उतरेगा नहीं। आप कहीं ना कहीं ये तो साबित होता है ना कि आपको लगा मैं कुछ भी कर जाऊंगा, कुछ नहीं होगा मेरा, क्योंकि एक तरह का सैंक्शन आपको है। आपने जिन जिन लोगों को धन्यवाद दिया है फिल्म में, उसमें सारे मैं देख रहा था बीजेपी के चीफ मिनिस्टर या डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर।
आदिपुरुष इस फिल्म के विषय में जो अभी र्यूमर है, जो पब्लिक ने जिन्होंने देखा है, जो रिव्यू आ रहे हैं, वो अच्छे नहीं हैं। मुझे लगता है कि कहीं ना कहीं हिंदू जनमानस को उनके संवादों से ठेस पहुंची है। और इसके पहले भी ये विषय जब आया था, जब ट्रेलर आया था इसका, तब भी मैंने ये कहा था कि इसमें किसी भी फिल्म को उसका विरोध हम तुरंत नहीं करते हैं। हम उस फिल्म को देखेंगे तब उसका विरोध हम करेंगे। लेकिन इस समय जो कुछ भी हम सुनने को हमें मिल रहा है वो ठीक नहीं है, और निश्चित तौर पर आदिपुरुष फिल्म ने हिंदू जनमानस के कहीं न कहीं मनों को ठेस पहुंचाई है।
Welcome to Vantage USA. We are coming to you live from Washington, D.C. It's a city steeped in history and politics. Wars have started and ended here. Alliances have been forged and relationships built. Now it's ready for the next chapter. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be landing here on the 21st of June. That's Wednesday. You can almost feel the buzz around here. It's a feeling that has disappeared from diplomacy nowadays. Years ago, the whole city would mobilize to welcome world leaders. There would be long preparations, flags all around, even people lining up on the streets, like they would for celebrities. You don't see that sort of welcome nowadays, but this visit by Prime Minister Modi seems to be an exception. There is genuine excitement in the air, and we will tell you why. From symbolism to substance to strategy, we will decode all of it. What's on the agenda? What are the expectations? What is the word on the streets of Washington? We'll talk about all of that, but first, the headlines. Tensions soar in the West Bank. Israel deploys attack helicopters in a raid in the Jenin refugee camp. At least 4 Palestinians